So, hey, welcome to episode 107 of Mike's Collection. I'm Mike, and usually we're talking about just my collection, but I've got a guest with me today. So this is my friend Matt.
Hey, everybody.
Better known online as Mate Mylar. So, it's nice to have you on here. We were just talking for a minute before we started recording. This is episode 107, but I think you're only maybe the fourth guest I've had on, and some of those were just kind of like having some buddies on drunk. It wasn't really a collaborative thing like this. So, why don't you, introduce yourself a little bit so people know who you are.
I'm Matt, and I like collecting toys, specifically G.I. Joe. I take pictures of the old O-ring, Ara style figures, and like explosions and blow stuff up. And post them on Instagram, a little bit on Twitter. And other than that, I just like taking pictures of toys.
Yeah, and what's cool about this is that, so I started posting stuff on Instagram maybe almost 3 years ago, and then I started the YouTube channel getting close to 2 years ago. And I've made some connections with people online, some people like in different spots of the world, and so you and me, we kind of connected through this.
Yeah.
We started off maybe liking each other's photos and then throwing some comments, and then it's cool. We realized we live really close to each other.
Super close.
Yeah, and I've been to your house, and you've been to my house, and that's pretty cool. It's like I made a real life friend, and not just an internet friend. Even though that's cool too.
Yeah.
But so really, we could have done this, sitting on a couch together, but considering that, and we're in Atlantic, Canada, where COVID is still we're probably one of the best places in the world for
super
COVID.
Lucky.
But it's still a little frowned upon to expand your bubble too much. So since we don't see each other often, we thought we'd better do it this way. And yeah. So as far as your photos and stuff go, like I don't know if everybody here watches my videos follows me on Instagram, but like my Instagram is, I literally just take a picture of my toy on a white desk, and there's nothing special about it. They're often out of focus. I have no photography skills whatsoever, whereas your stuff is amazing and like professional quality. I don't know if you can maybe send me some of your choice still images that I can kind of post up here and show.
Sure, yeah.
But the one time you came over to my house, I remember you surprised me and you gifted me with a couple of prints, and I want to get those framed and put up on my wall. I haven't done so yet, but I don't know if you can see, but I've actually...
Oh, totally, yeah, that's amazing.
So I just stuck them up here in my other frame so people could see them, but I know they're probably pretty small on people's screens, but this is the Cobra Night Raven in front of this explosion, and there's Soundwave here with some of his cassette henchmen, and that's all practical, the lighting, the explosions, and it's crazy.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. Now you're on your laptop right now, are you?
I am, yeah.
So is it easy for you to do a little spin around, or is that?
Yeah, I could totally do a spin around. Before I do, I'm going to plug in the effect machine. I hope this doesn't blow out and look like too lit up, but and now I can't really see where the camera's going because it's like really small on the top of the screen. But it should be an explosion sort of there, maybe. And stormtrooper running away from their explosion. And there that goes. And that's just cotton and an LED. And now you're not going to see the LED unless I unplug it. And it's just a light sitting inside some cotton and spray paint and lighting gel.
Yeah, and it is kind of hard to tell the way you're showing it what the effect is. But maybe if you're taking a picture of that stormtrooper today, maybe send me the finalized image and I'll flash it up here and people will see how crazy it looks from what you start with.
I'll send you that. I'll send you some iPhone pictures of how that looks better without it all blowing out and stuff like that. Yeah, you can throw it all up there.
But I was surprised. Like when I went to your place, it's like a mad scientist laboratory in there. Like it's a full-on workshop with tons of little dioramas and even like the stuff you display, like my action figures they're all just standing in very static rows, but you've got these elaborate scenes of exploding planes crashing and everything, and it's really cool.
To me, like, I was looking for a way to play with my toys. Now, I'm not going to get down on the floor and like play like we used to, but yeah, I wanted a way to display them and bring some life to it, and that's what led me to do the explosions and the muzzle effects and things like that. I just want to do it for my own dios and stuff, and I accidentally put a camera in front of that, and oh wow, that looks kind of cool, and yeah, kind of went from there. But yeah.
And that's what started me on this too, is that like I collect these toys and nobody in my inner circle really cares. So even though I wouldn't play with them, I don't even have a buddy that comes over and sits on the floor and like looks at them with me and is like, oh, cool. So I wanted to be able to play with them to some degree too. So just that little bit of interaction of getting a new figure and then taking pictures of it on Instagram. And I usually try and take like a funny little joke picture. So I pair a new G.I. Joe with some random old Star Wars figure to make the joke, and then I show them off on the videos here. So yeah, it gives me a chance to really kind of enjoy the figure and share it with somebody before it just gets plinked on a shelf, never to be seen again.
Exactly. And your jokes are amazing. Like when I see a new post from you, it's like, yes, get to the end. Let's swipe over. I'll look at the rest later. But yeah, let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah, I always appreciate when you comment something like that because it's hard to know. But at least with Facebook now, you've got, the like, the love, the laugh. So if I post something funny on Facebook, usually people hit the laugh icon instead of the like nowadays. But on Instagram, you've just got the heart. And I usually take a picture of a toy. I'll take like 8 photos. And I think most people probably just look at the first photo and just move on and they hit the like button. Some of the reasons I think that is because like sometimes I'll put like some pretty like racy humor and the toy company themselves, like I put like Mr. Men. I have like some little Mr. Men figurines from McDonald's, and I'll put them in some like racy situations, but like Mr. Men Foundation will like it, and like yeah, I'm just surprised sometimes at the people that like these, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if they scrolled to the last joke. But yeah, so it's hard to know when I see all these people liking them. Like, did they actually even look at the jokes or not? But so I appreciate that you like them.
And maybe it's wrong of me, but I kind of like, I find it funny that maybe they don't go to the very end and oh yeah, just throw a like on that without appreciating all the goodness that that you put at the end of it.
Well, like one of the things, like if you saw my just recently over Christmas, my wife got me like a beer advent calendar, and it was the second year I've done that. So kind of just for something different on my Instagram, rather than a joke, really, I just take the beer and I try and find an action figure that I think pairs with it. Even maybe they have a similar name or a similar just color scheme or something like that. And I'll write like a little bit of a review of the beer underneath. And sometimes I've written some pretty scathing, like, this beer sucks, I would never buy this again. But then the beer company will like my post just because I, like, hashtagged, the beer in there. And I'm like, I don't think people read these things at all, but whatever.
Yeah.
So, there's a couple things we want to talk about, and also I don't want this video to go too long. I say that every video, and I've been posting videos that are like an hour and a half, and I really would like to try and keep them under an hour, but...
I hear you. I mean, we could do an intro, just an hour and a half of, ramping up to,
I know, like I posted a video right after Christmas just to kind of speed things along, so I wanted to open my toys, because usually when I get new toys, I show them here on the box, and then I open them up. But I had so many new toys, and I didn't want to wait around to do the video, so I did a video, which is kind of unusual for me, where I just showed everything in the box, and I was like, I'll show you these later. But now, it's been a couple of weeks, and I've gotten a bunch more stuff since then. I probably have like 40 figures that I'm like almost dreading doing my next video, because I'm like, man, I'm going to try and lump all these 40 figures and just do a quick little marathon and try and get them all in an hour. Or I could break it up into like 4 different videos, and then that seems pretty daunting too, so I don't know. But I've got a lot of toys to show people, so
nice.
Stay tuned for those. So yeah, the last video I did though was my top 20 of 2020. I've been doing that since 2012 when I first started like blogging about toys. And yeah, man, it's hard to do. This year, I actually listed every action figure I bought, and I tried to actually rank every one. And I had like, I want to say it was around 240 action figures this year, plus like about 60 some Funko Pops, kind of separate. So like 300 figures, and just trying to say, okay, this Stormtrooper ranks here. And I like all of them. Like, I don't buy toys I don't like.
Yeah.
So to say, man, this toy ranks like 210 on this list, I'm like, I like this toy. So, man, it was hard. But I got my top 20, and I think they're all pretty great. So I had mentioned to you that you could maybe talk about your, either, I don't know if you have a top 20 or a top 10.
I have a top 10. I say that it's more like I have one figure that is absolutely, positively number one, almost dethroned throughout the year, but no, just absolutely number one. And then everything else is like, these are the other 9 in my top 10. And so anyway, I've got them sitting right here beside me, and looking forward to talking about that, and new exciting stuff coming up, and maybe some disappointments from 2020. You want to touch on some of that?
Heads up, I didn't want me to think about all these things and then throw you, like, hey, what do you think of this or that, and you have to sit there and try and figure it out. So I wanted to give you a bit of a heads up.
Yeah.
So the couple of topics I had come up with here on my little index card was like your top 10, talk about some maybe new lines or something that we got into that was new this past year in 2020.
Yeah.
Things we were looking forward to in 2021, and some disappointments 2020 as well. So I don't know. Do you want to talk about any of that stuff first, or do you want to get into your top 10?
I'm indifferent. Any of that is good with me.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to hear about your top 10.
All right. Let's do that.
I think I know. Like I collect a whole bunch of lines. You've been here. You've seen. So like I'm currently collecting Black Series, Marvel Legends, Ninja Turtles, Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and then a bunch of little smaller lines as well. You seemed a little more focused.
I
expect to see probably mostly G.I. Joes and Transformers, but you might throw me some curveballs that I'm not expecting. So
I think there's some curves in there. This time last year, it was like solely G.I. Joe. You could not get me to look at anything 6-inch G.I. Joe or otherwise. And wow, 2020 just spun me right around. Now going back to your, like, how do you rank this Stormtrooper in, like, the list of, like, I don't know who to pick out as the worst in this group of 10. Like, I guess, okay. The worst
of the best.
The worst of the best. Let's light her up. Is Scarlet.
Yeah.
How does that look? Yeah.
I've got it right here too. I can.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. I don't have not too many toys are like in reach right here, but my G.I. Joes are like right beside me. So yeah, here is.
There she is.
Classified Scarlet. And yeah, this is a great figure. It didn't make my top 20, but like it was a contender. I really liked it as well.
Yeah, I mean the colors I'm kind of on, but everything else makes up for it. The reason why she's number 10 is over time. Now this might be just because I've used her a lot in poses and whatnot, but she's very loose, especially the ankles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I first got her, she could do like stand on her tiptoes with no supports, and no problem. Now,
I haven't had any problems, but I don't display them very much. Like once I do the initial photos, you can see I've got her on 2 little Star Wars bases here to kind of keep her propped up. Although, I don't know if you saw it in that video I talked about where I showed you all the boxes of all of my new stuff. I did show my buddy got me this museum gel. It's like crystal clear. And this is, I think, supposed to work kind of like stick tack. It's museum quality, supposedly. So I'm hoping this will help these guys not fall on the floor.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like when you take the lid off and look through it, like it looks totally empty. Like it's crystal clear. So you put it under their feet, and it's supposed to like kind of mold to the bottom of their feet. It's like a liquid, and so right now I use the stands, and when I run out of the stands, I use stick tack. So I'm excited to try that stuff out, and hopefully it works all right.
Yeah, let me know how that works.
Yeah. Now, in regards to the Scarlet, did you see the re-releasing it in like a little more neutral colors?
Yeah.
Do you think you would get that one again just for those slight changes, or?
I'll pick it up if I see it in store. It's not something I'd pre-order or I'd like buy online, just because there are other priorities right now with some other series I've been getting into lately.
Yeah, like I think this is the best Scarlet has ever looked.
Yes.
As far as head sculpts that we've gotten and everything. I like that you can see her freckles and everything on there.
Yep.
She does look, I feel, almost maybe a little too young for the Scarlet that I associate.
Yeah. I'd agree with that, but it's the younger version of that Scarlet.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, and to me that makes it okay.
Yeah, I agree too. Like, even though I kind of feel like I've grown older, and so I kind of imagine the G.I. Like, when I was a kid, I probably thought the G.I. Joes were all like 20 or something.
Yeah.
But now that I'm like in my 40s, I'd like to think these guys are in their 40s at least too. I'm like,
right.
But yeah, I don't necessarily want a bunch of action figures of middle-aged, overweight. So yeah, it's a really nice looking Scarlet. And I don't even mind the gold colors and stuff on her. I like that it's not like a straight redo of the original look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I'll bother buying the repaint. Who knows? Maybe if I see it in store as an impulse buy, but I'm satisfied enough with this one that I don't feel the need to replace her. So.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, a totally solid pick. All right. So what else?
Yeah, I guess I'm just going to kind of pick them up, but let's go with Red Series Soundwave.
Nice.
Great figure. No complaints at all. Just absolutely solid. I just kind of like the rest of them just a little bit more than this one, and that's why he's number 8? Yeah.
So you got the other guys coming then, probably.
Oh yeah. I guess I kind of spoiled that, but
yeah.
Yeah.
The only one I put on my list, I don't know if you watched it all or not, but like Megatron was the one that made my list. Like overall, I think a little disappointed in that line. I had higher expectations, and they're good, but they didn't blow me away. But Megatron, I think, is like the most looks like the cartoon come to life, and also he's the character that I didn't have a figure that I was happy with yet. Really, like I have some cool Soundwaves and Optimuses, but yeah, I think I really needed a good classic G1 Megatron, and this one really delivered that for me. So he's the only one that made my top 20, but yeah, they're all pretty cool.
Totally agree. I mean, we've discussed it before, like the Prime and the Megatron, that kind of definitive version, and yeah, I didn't have one in my collection either. This one, it just fit all the bills. I may as well just say, Optimus and then Megatron next. I mean, yeah, those three. They did everything I wanted that series to do, and yeah, that's why they made my list. But I totally agree with just having the Megatron on yours. Yeah, makes total sense.
Yeah, and just earlier today, I watched. You ever watch the YouTube channel Toy Galaxy with Dan?
Oh, yeah, I love Dan.
Yeah, so he just did his best of the year video. I think he just posted it yesterday or today, and he had the Earthrise Optimus in his. None of the Red series made his list.
Wow.
But with Optimus, I'm quite satisfied with the one from the last set, which I think is it Earthrise one or the one I have, or I think I have the Siege one. I have Siege Optimus Prime.
Yeah, the one with the flaps on the.
Yeah, he's got some kibble on. I still think he looks really cool. Plus, the one from I think Powers of the Prime or Titan's Return that turns into Orion Pax.
That's great.
I quite like that one too. So I didn't really feel I needed to upgrade him anymore, but seeing Dan's focus on the Earthrise one, saying it's the best G1 Optimus out there, I'm like, man, do I need that one too? He comes with the trailer and all that stuff, and I'm like, ugh.
I have them. I haven't opened them. I pre-ordered them.
Yeah.
And then I kind of forgot about the line for a bit. Got really into Classified. Pre-order shipped late for whatever reason. Finally, it showed up, and I was into taking pictures of Classified. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just do that later. Then I get the red version, and it's like, I don't really want to open this right now. So it's just kind of sat there, and I walk by it every once in a while. It's like, yeah, it's got the trailer and all the other things. I modified my Siege version, and that's my main of that line Optimus that goes with the majority of my Transformers collection. And then, like, I'm heavy into red now, but heavy. There's 3 of them, and I have them all, just like you. But yeah, really looking forward to more red.
Have they announced much more? Like, I think Starscream, maybe?
Starscream and Bumblebee. Is there a Cheetor and RC?
Okay, I don't know if I heard those ones yet, but
I think it's RC.
Okay.
One of them, yeah. But really weird versions, not the G1 version. Like, yeah, they look nothing like the rest of the red. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was some sort of weird fan kind of what if pictures, but they follow the same sort of Hasbro brand marketing style and look kind of legit. So
okay, but yeah, back to that the Earthrise Optimus.
Yeah.
So after I watched that video today, I started looking him up, seeing like, should I get this guy? And I think he's like a $60-$70 range figure here in Canada.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, do I really need, because I have those 2 I just mentioned, plus I have the red series. So I have 3 really good, I feel kind of classic red and blue G1 Optimuses. That one might be a little bit better, but is he better enough to justify the $70? And then I saw there's an Amazon exclusive. I think it's $120, but he's painted in all blacks and grays to look, and he's cracked on the face. He looks like he's the dead Optimus from
right. Oh man.
And I thought, well, at least that is different enough. I could justify that a little bit more. But then I thought, well, if it is as good as he said, if I get it and I love it, do I really want my Ultimate Optimus to be dead Optimus? So I don't know. I'm torn. I might not get it at all, or I might get the live one, or I might get the dead one. But yeah, tempted.
Yep, I hear you.
All right, so what else you got?
All right, so
if we can't see them that well, just
Destro, the classified Destro. He's perfect.
I'll grab mine here.
Yeah, you got him right there.
There he goes. Yeah, now these guys, Destro made my list, and so did one other G.I. Joe, but they pretty much all could have.
Yeah.
They're all great. Like, Snake Eyes didn't make my list, but I thought the Snake Eyes is really cool. Like, even the Red Ninja I don't have much attachment to, and Roadblock's probably my least favorite, but they still ranked pretty high on the list. Like, they were nowhere near the bottom. So, yeah, this Destro is great.
He's amazing. I've been thinking about this list for a long time, like going back to the summer when, like you said, Dan Larson, he does like videos. This is the list so far kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love those. So I kind of started thinking about it back then. And yeah, for the longest time, it's like, okay, well, all the classified series and what other couple figures are gonna be on there. Yeah. So yeah, before the top one, there's 3 others, and they're all Black Series.
Okay.
I was at Toys R Us looking for like whatever Target exclusives might be in stock, which never happens. And they had one R2-D2, and I'm like, you know what? I love R2-D2. Just one sitting there. Let's just.
Is this the Empire Strikes Back, like dirty one, or which one?
Yeah, the Dagobah. So like not much of accessories or anything like that. I can't remember if it was discounted or whatever, but just one. It wasn't even hanging up. It was just kind of sitting down with the 3 3/4 inch ones. Like,
yeah.
Well, okay. Well, this is just kind of sitting here. Nothing else here that I like. Let's just pick this up. Whatever. R2-D2 is just going to look cool no matter where I put them. I don't need anything else to display with them. And got them home, got them out of the package, and now I'm in the Black Series. I mean the leg coming out, the appendages on the front, and all the like how you can rearrange the top little pegs and the sensor and everything. So R2-D2 makes the list.
I've been collecting Black Series pretty much since the beginning.
Yep.
I have I probably have over 100 of them by now, but like probably 40 of those are Stormtroopers. I think I do have at least 40 Stormtroopers.
Nice.
But I had a rule when I started that I wasn't going to collect just anybody. Like, I was planning on skipping a lot of the main characters because I have so many of them in a small scale. I'm kind of bored of them. I wanted just cool robots and aliens and stormtroopers and stuff. I have kind of over the years accumulated a lot of the main cast, but it's often in their like side costumes. Like, I've got Luke and Han in their snow outfits just because I wanted to get the Wampa and the Tauntaun, and they came with them. And like, I have young Lando because he was like $5 at EB Games for like $5 Friday one day, and so yeah, I've got some, but I don't have R2D2. I don't have C3PO. I don't have a Chewbacca. So yeah, there's some. It's kind of weird now because my collection has gotten so big, and I feel like, man, do I have to? I kind of need some version of these guys,
right?
Especially when like I don't have an R2D2, and the main reason is because for a figure of his size, it seems crazy that they don't give you another droid or something in there with them and charge you the same price. It's so hard to justify it.
Yeah.
But I have 3 different. What are the astromech droids? I have 3 of them that aren't R2. So it's like, well, I bought those guys. Might as well get R2. Just recently, you might have seen him on one of my recent videos. I got this dude here.
Yes.
And he's cool. And he's got the little, like, you turn his head and his little extra leg down and everything. So that's cool. But I was a little disappointed because as a kid, I always preferred R5-D4. And that's the one I had because I think my brother had R2-D2, so I had R5. And he was just kind of like a favorite character of mine. And I have the 12-inch version of him, which is about 6 inches, but like to scale with the 12-inch.
Right.
And I remember when R5-D4 came out, and he was an EB exclusive, and they were asking like $36 for him. And I was like, man, I have trouble even justifying the 30. Now they're asking like almost 40 for this little thing. So I passed on it, but then I did kind of regret it later once he was gone. And if I remember correctly, I think R5 appears in The Mandalorian.
Yes.
So my buddy was at Toys R Us over the holidays, and I actually went to sent him there to check to see if they had any of the holiday exclusive Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And he was calling me, and he's like, they've got this little like red droid. I think it's that guy from like The Mandalorian or whatever. And I was like, oh, did they do a Mandalorian version of R5-D4? And I was like, yeah, get me him. So he bought him for me, and he showed up at my house, and I gave him the $30 for him or whatever. But this guy's cool, but it's not R5-D4.
Right.
This is from like the Galaxy's Edge, and his name's like R5D7 or whatever. I don't know. Do you know what it is?
No.
Yeah. But yeah, he's got these like little teeth painted on him. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah. I'm not sure what that's from.
But his head, his head is way different color than his body. This is like very yellow. This is very whitish gray. I don't know if that's intentional. Maybe that's the way he looks at Galaxy's Edge, but it's very kind of distracting. It looks weird. But
so close, anyway. But not quite.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll have to get an R2 one of these days.
Totally love it. So I had to get a C3PO. I went with the Chewbacca 2-pack because, I mean, like 2 figures for the price of 1. Didn't realize at the time that it doesn't come with Chewbacca doesn't have the bowcaster. He just has the Stormtrooper blaster, which is, I guess, movie accurate if you're into that sort of thing. And I mean, whatever. As an aside, these are my first Star Wars toys and figures. Like I didn't. I was like in that age group where the only ones that were left in the store were like the prune faces and like just the peg warmers. So not interested to me and my friends. So we couldn't get any of the Lukes or the X-Wings or the Millennium Falcons or anything like that. So we just subbed in our G.I. Joes when we wanted to play Star Wars, and kind of that was it. So I didn't have any nostalgia for Star Wars toys, and just kind of was like, those are big Star Wars toys, and I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole right now, but so anyway, got the Chewbacca. Chewbacca didn't make the list, but definitely C-3PO, just because it was normally I have to look up a pose. Like, I'm a fan. I love these movies. I love G.I. Joe and stuff like that. But if I'm doing a picture or whatever, then I want to be accurate. So I got to look at the comic or look at the cartoon or whatever, get in the zone. What's the body language? How is this guy standing, sort of thing. And so I can put that into my poses and whatnot. With C-3PO, it was just like you take him out of the package and like almost like he posed himself. And wow, that. Sorry, go ahead.
You have him there?
Yes. Let's see. I can't really see what it looks like on screen.
Like I see, it's kind of detailed. So what's his paint job? Is he kind of a matte?
It's a matte gold. It's not super shiny. It's not the carbonized version or anything like that. His right shin is the silver. Yeah. But the rest of it is all gold. And you can take his arms and legs off, and he's got little rubber bits that go in the sockets and over the sockets to make him look like he's destroyed, and a little net that rides on Chewie's back. And I don't display him like that. I like Chewie and Han to kind of be together, and C-3PO and R2 are together. But oh man, just like putting the two droids together, it's like, wow, it looks so good. You throw any sort of light at it and it's like, yeah.
Almost got, because like I said, I've been kind of thinking I should maybe fill in the blanks on some of those characters. Some of them are kind of hard to find now because they came out a couple of years ago. Well, like, they just re-released that R2. Yeah. I don't think I've seen that Chewbacca 3PO 2-pack. Did you have to order that online, or did you
Amazon?
But that 3PO there was a different 3PO that was readily available recently from the newest movie. The last Rise of Skywalker?
Right, with the red arm?
Yeah, did he ever? I don't know, but the thing about it, he had Chewbacca's strap around him, which he would take off, which I would do. But he had those eyes that were like reddish, I think, from this one scene in the movie or something where they're And I'm like, if I'm gonna buy one 3PO, I don't want him to look weird. His eyes just look too weird to me. So I think I'd have to go back and get like a version like you've got, or something that looks a little more standard. But I really wish he was like chrome, like the vintage toy was, like Destro's head and stuff. Like this Destro, that's like, it's a nice paint they used on this, but I kind of wish there was like a chrome reflective.
That would, put it over the top. With all the carbonized versions of figures they're doing lately, I'd be very surprised if we don't see one maybe this year.
But even that, do you have any of the carbonized ones?
No. I mean, just the shiny metal wasn't really enough to justify the extra price point.
Yeah, and it's like, I have one of them. I have the second sister Inquisitor. And I remember I went to, the day the Mandalorian figures launched, it was like one of their Force Friday things or something. Yeah. And I went to EB Games first thing in the morning, and I wish I had known these things were going to skyrocket in value, because I bought like the white box Mandalorian. I opened that up and threw out the box and all that stuff. But like, I could have sold that for $100 and bought another Mandalorian in a black box later. So there's somebody that opens these things up, or whatever. But they had the figures, the carbonized versions and the standard versions there. And I went with the standard, like, Mandalorian, but the second sister Inquisitor, who I don't know who that character is. She's from a video game or whatever. But she wears all black. The carbonized version, it almost looks like a pencil lead. It's not like reflective. It's got a bit of a sheen on it, but it's not like super noticeable. So if they did a C-3PO, he'd probably still just kind of be like, shiny, but it wouldn't be the chrome that I want to see.
Gotcha. I've just seen the pictures online. They look like super shiny on like Big Bag Toy Store and places like that. But yeah, totally get you. Like super chromed out OG 3PO, OG Destro. Yeah.
Yeah, the back metal. That's what you need.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that would be amazing. The other Black Series is the Hoth Trooper, the Army Builder.
Oh yeah, the good guy.
Yeah, the
Yeah. Hold on a little bit more, I think. Because I've got you kind of narrow, so there you go. Yeah.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah, and he's got the swappable face and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, very Zartan-esque. The face lives in the backpack, which is why, like, right to my heart with that one. Yeah. both faces look great with the scarf and the goggles. The ski goggles have like an elastic band. You can move it around. There's something like, I don't know, 14, 16 different combinations you can get with the whole thing. So
Buy
for an
another
army builder, not yet. It's going to be soon, I think, though.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going all in on Hoth. I love Empire, but I really love Hoth. I love the walkers. I love the snow speeder and the base and just the scenes, the way it's lit, all of it. I mean, everybody's there. Vader makes an appearance. It's great. Yeah. So anything Hoth related, I'm kind of picking up at the moment.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to chase down those Wampas and Tauntauns.
I know. Yeah, I came to the party late.
And I get those cheap. It's one of those things where, like, EB Games here, and for people that don't know, EB Games, I've mentioned it a few times already, that's like GameStop here in Canada. They sell a lot of that. They had the Wampa and the Tauntaun 2-packs. This was a couple years ago, but they were, like, discounted to, like, $30, like the price of a single card figure.
Yeah.
And so I bought them both, and then it was, like, a few months later that I saw people were selling them for like $200 a piece and stuff like that, and it's like, it's weird how something can be marked down. It seems like nobody wants it, and then that's happened with a few Marvel Legends. I've seen these things warming pegs at Toys R Us for months, like some of these 2-packs, and they mark them down to the price of a single figure. Like there was a Cyclops Phoenix 2-pack.
Oh yeah.
And I saw that was down to like $27 down from like $75. And I still didn't buy it because I was like, I didn't want another Cyclops. I already had what I thought was a decent enough Cyclops. And I still to this day, I don't have any Jean Grey in my collection, but I wanted a more classic Jean Grey. I didn't necessarily want the Phoenix, but it had a beautiful head sculpt. It actually, I think, had 2 or 3 head sculpts, and they were all really nice. And I thought, well, it's always getting marked down. Maybe I'll pick it up someday. And then it was eventually gone after I'd seen it dozens of times. And then now it's like super expensive. And I'm like, why didn't I buy that?
Yeah, I did a couple of eBay dives for it, and I'm like, wow, yeah, no, too rich for my blood.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll see a box for what I think is it at one of the local comic shops, and it ends up being a statue or something like that with similar packaging. But yeah, I hear you.
What are you gonna do? All right, and just that Hoth soldier. He's one of the ones, like, I believe you that he's cool. I've seen him. But he's one of the ones that kind of doesn't fit my rule. I'm like, he's just a human, and he's not even, like, anything fancy. So I'm like, I'm not getting just guys.
Right.
I felt burnt out on Star Wars after the Phantom Menace, probably, because I was all in, when I was buying the toys before I'd even seen the movie. So I had battle droids. I have probably like 10 different little battle droids. I have all the senators, like Valorum and all this, like these guys that basically didn't do anything in the movie. It's all these old men in robes, all these useless little droids that won't stand up because they're too skinny. And then I'm like, I don't even like any of these characters, and I've got all these figures, and I was just like, yeah. So I burnt out on Star Wars completely after that. I didn't buy figures from the next 2 prequels. And Black Series, it took a little bit of convincing to get me started, but I was like, yeah, just monsters. I'm not going to have a shelf full of old men. But they are whittling me down a little bit. I got like Grand Moff Tarkin. I had to get him, and then it's kind of expanded from there. And I do have more old men than I intended. Like Count Dooku, I got him not too long ago, and he was another one that I was like, I don't need him. And I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah,
Dooku. So. All right, so we got your number 1?
We are at the number 1. It shouldn't be any surprise, but it's Snake Eyes. Classified Snake Eyes.
Yes. Now, I've got him here, too.
Yeah. You've got the first release and the black version. First release there.
So, yeah, here's both of them.
I only have the retail, the one in your right hand. I think it's your right, from my perspective. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so this guy he's pretty much solid black. Couple of silver belt buckles and stuff, and a couple little red spots on them. This one here that bothers a lot of people, the little red one on the head.
I don't even notice it.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, but people find anything to complain about, it seems. Yeah. But yeah, it's a really solid figure. And then this one here was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. They charged you twice as much because he came with this extra rack full of weapons, which I just recently had to throw into a spare parts bin because I ran out of room on my shelf. But he's got a couple more different tones. He's got the silver visor instead of a black visor. He's got kind of brown pants and some brown straps. Yeah, both are cool. Exact same sculpt and everything. This one made Dan Larson's list, but again, he mixed the two together. I think he's got like this head on this body, and yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to do that. That wouldn't fly. That's basically a custom at that point.
It is. But, I mean, technically they're both from the same mold, so, I mean, it's a custom, but it's been professionally painted by the toy company. It's an odd one. I wouldn't necessarily call it a kit bash, because, I mean, it's both from the same figure. It's a really expensive figure, if you're doing it that way.
I'm glad I got him when I did. But, well, that's one thing. That's a good segue into our disappointments section in that, like, right off the bat with this line, that Snake Eyes was kind of expensive. And I was like, I'm going to get him. And maybe I'll be kicking myself because maybe they're going to release this guy in like 40 different colors when all's said and done. And I'm like, I'll stop buying them. But so far I was like, you know what? I'm going to start out on the right foot. I'm going to get the variants. But then they've made it so damn difficult with these Target exclusives and stuff that I can't keep up with the line. It's like I'm missing half of them now because I don't have Beachhead, I don't have a Cobra Trooper, I don't have Firefly. It sucks.
That's my biggest disappointment. The supply. I mean, supply and demand, but I mean, there's got to be enough for everyone. I don't want to be the only one with this figure and take pictures of it, and everyone's like that's not the vibe that we're all in this for. We all want to play with our toys, but we want to enjoy them, and I mean, you can't do that if you can't get them. And it's fun to chase toys down and go on the hunt every once in a while, but I mean, when that's the norm, that like, okay, there's a new toy coming out, but it's going to be just a slog to try and find it. That for me, 2020, that was the biggest disappointment, and I think G.I. Joe suffered from it big time.
Yeah, like the toys are awesome. Everybody loves them.
Yeah.
If kids saw them on the shelves, I'm pretty sure they'd pick one of those over like a Star Wars Black Series. They're colorful. They've got more weapons. Like they're kind of fresh and new.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I've ever, I've seen a couple of them sit at comic shops. Like strangers might have them and they might sit for a little while. But I've never seen them at like Toys R Us or Walmart or anything. I see empty pegs.
Yeah.
Lots of times. But I got lucky. I've got all the regular retail ones. Some of them it took a little while to hunt down, and it was one at a time. It wasn't like just getting the whole wave or something. So chasing down the Pip Daddy Destro and chasing down Cobra Commander and did you get both Cobra Commanders, by the way?
No, just the dark blue one.
Okay, so I got the dark blue and the royal blue one now, and I have a pre-order for the black one, but I haven't got that one yet. Hasbro Pulse, I don't know what they're doing sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, those Target exclusives, like we don't have Targets here. So usually with things like Target exclusives for Marvel Legends, they show up here at EB Games or Toys R Us. But supposedly some of those Cobra Island G.I. Joe showed up at Toys R Us, but like I know you and I, we were checking. The people at Toys R Us, when I would ask them about them, were like, man, we've got people calling here every morning, showing up for them. So like Baroness up with the motorcycle, I'd love to get that figure. She probably would have been on my top 20, but like...
Yeah. A guy at Toys R Us, when I called inquiring, said they had 2 Baronesses, and they were gone. So I mean, like 2 for a whole province. How do you can't, it doesn't make sense. So as far as classified going forward, I've decided whatever Big Bad Toy Store has and whatever I see in the wild, that'll be what I buy, and everything else is just whatever. And now I feel better about it because I'm not having to do that unwinnable fight.
Well, I'm hoping that because like it seemed crazy when they put the Cobra Soldier out as a Target exclusive. And I would be okay with it almost like if we don't have Targets here, but people that live near Targets were getting them by the boatload. But like everywhere, people are like, I go to Target every day. They never have them. Like even if you live next door to a Target, your chances of getting them are next to nothing.
Yeah.
So it seemed crazy that a figure that everybody would want multiples of, they made an exclusive, and then they didn't even give you any supply for it. But then they made the same figure less like one accessory, and that's going to be a regular retail release. And I was able to pre-order 2 of them on Big Bad Toy Store. And I think they're still in stock there for pre-orders as well. So if I wanted more, I probably could. Now, hopefully those come through. There's always a chance Big Bad could cancel or something, but historically, I don't think they've done that to me on anything else. So
they've been good to me so far.
Yeah, so they haven't, but I still want the Beachhead. I'm hoping that they do the same with him, and I don't want him in. I won't be satisfied if they give me the same Beachhead like in blue or something. Like I want that. Beachhead. You want to take away his beret or one of his knives or something? Fine, but like I want that Beachhead. And now we've got Firefly and the Viper, so I'm hoping the same thing. Maybe they just lose an accessory or repaint their guns from black to gray or something. I can live with that, but yeah, I don't want a full repaint. Like if they gave me Pimp Daddy Destro and didn't let me get the regular Destro, that would fly.
Yeah, I totally agree. The Viper doesn't break my heart that I can't get it because that was 86 and I'm like 82 to 85. So, but oh man, that Cobra Soldier.
Because he's like your Hoth Soldier there. He's got a lot of variations, like goggles and stuff.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. And that armband, that's the thing they took away from him. So he's got like this officer armband.
Yeah.
And again, you have a guy with it on this arm, a guy with it on this arm, a guy with the goggles, and like, you could probably get like 10 different combos out of that figure, which is, that's nice that they do that for army builders and stuff. But yeah, we got to be able to get them. I don't know how anybody can build an army of things they can't find one of. So.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So going forward, 2021, what are you looking forward to?
So I jotted some things down. Here, did you have any? I had a couple other disappointments.
Yeah.
To talk
about. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
So yeah, those exclusives. G.I. Joe being the biggest offender, but like the Masters of the Universe was driving me crazy too.
Oh yeah.
Because the new Origins line, you're familiar with them?
Yep.
So I got Merman right here. I've got all of them. I've got about 6 of the figures now, plus both of the Battle Cats, Panther and Battle Cat.
Yeah.
And these figures are nice and fun. They're simple. They're very childlike, very reminiscent of the ones from when I was a kid. And the price is right. It's so nice to get a brand new figure for $14.99.
Yeah.
In the States, they're probably only $10, but yeah, $14.99 here in Canada. That's a great price point. But yeah, they were Walmart exclusives, and there's plenty of Walmarts. I can drive to like 5 different Walmarts from my house, all within like half an hour. And these things came out, I want to say, like around maybe August or so. And I didn't see a single one in August, September, October, November. The first time I found them was December 23rd. I was there like buying like my last of my Christmas supplies, some snacks and stuff to get me through the holidays. And I found this is wave 3. So no wave 1, no wave 2. So I don't have He-Man or Skeletor. Everybody's posting them online. In the States, you see some people posting end caps and stuff full of them, but like the stores in Canada, just empty pegs everywhere. And there's even the WWF tie-in figures. I think they're kind of corny, but like I would have got like the Macho Man figure who's got like Man in armor. That's kind of fun. I haven't seen any of them. There's about 5 or 6 waves of those figures out now. Haven't seen them. Empty pegs. I see the pegs that say WWE Mo2.
I see the same pegs.
Yeah, so I don't know, like, I understand having trouble finding a Target exclusive when there's no Targets, but when I can go to 5 different Walmarts and they're all just empty, and I don't know anybody else that has them, did they ever stock them, or like, I don't know, it's crazy. The Ninja Turtle ones are sometimes frustrating too. I haven't outright missed out on any yet that I'm aware of. Right now, I'm going to be looking for the Krang Android body. And I don't know how that's going to be because I wasn't able to pre-order anywhere, so luck of the draw. Transformers. nothing plagued me too bad in 2020, but early in 20, like one of my all-time favorite Transformers is Thrust.
Yeah.
Out of like my top 5 Transformers, he's one of them. And for whatever reason, they've made him a Target exclusive, and he seems like he's going to be very hard to get. People seem to be having the same trouble with him as they do with the G.I. Joe Troopers and stuff. I don't know if he's going to get easier. Maybe he'll show up at Toys R Us here and we'll have a whole bunch of them. Fingers crossed. But I really don't have to pay $100+ for a figure that's a $30 figure. But he's not a figure I can just let go
right. Yeah.
on my top 5. So that sucks. But yeah, some other things that suck is delays. They're not as bad. I can deal with delays, but like I'm eagerly anticipating my Snake Mountain. I've been telling my viewers for like months that I'm going to do this unboxing of my Snake Mountain, but I think I'm the last guy in the world to get it.
It's funny because that's one of the things I'm looking forward to in 2021 is you getting the Snake Mountain so I can see the video.
Yeah, but everybody's got it. Like I see posts from people in like Germany and Australia and the moon and stuff that has this thing, but in Canada, it all went to one distributor. He's been very cool and keeping us up to date with emails. I'm sympathetic towards the shipping issues he's having and stuff. But he's supposed to ship it. He sent an email out to everybody in Canada. I don't know how many are in Canada, but he told me fewer than 100. He said he'd be shipping the first batch of them on January 18th, and then the last batch of them on the 20th. So I haven't got a ship notification yet, so mine must be in the batch going out tomorrow. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll have it by the end of the month, maybe. But yeah, but that thing has been taking forever to get here. My Spawn figure is not that far delayed, but I backed that Spawn Kickstarter. Did you do that one?
No, I looked at it, but I skipped it.
Yeah, there's a good chance that figure could have made my best of the year list. It was a little frustrating. Todd McFarlane was sending videos out to the supporters and stuff saying, hey, vote for my toy for best of the year because it was nominated for Toy of the Year in 2020. And I'm like, man, I want to support you. It looks cool, but like I don't have it. I don't know how I could vote for a toy that I haven't seen physically. Like Mythic Legions. That I don't know if that's something we're going to want to talk about in a minute because that's something new you got into, so I thought you might want to talk about it. But
oh yeah,
I've been collecting Mythic Legions since the first Kickstarter. I'm kind of choosy. It's too expensive of a line to be a completist, so I'm choosy with what I pick. But I've got, I can't even remember if it's 2 or 3 outstanding pre-orders. Some of the stuff from like more than a year ago, like the horses. So it just keeps getting pushed back. I understand pandemic things happen. Yeah. And I also backed Action Force, which is one I'm really excited about. And he just gave us an update yesterday that he's still hoping for the spring, but originally that was supposed to be a 2020 delivery, so God knows with that. Yeah, what else do I have here? The retro G.I. Joes, like those are crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those anywhere. I saw recently people are posting pictures of like the Hiss tanks on discount. They're buying like 8 or 9 of them. Haven't seen a single one of those.
Nope, me neither.
No. I saw Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow in the wild, but those are like 2 I didn't want, but I want the Scarlet, I want the Roadblock. No sign of them. And I don't know if they're even supporting that line. Is it going to continue beyond? I don't know. So I don't know if we'll ever see them. I was disappointed NECA lost the Godzilla license because I was kind of digging their figures.
Right.
And it's like, who is it? Jack Pacific or Playmate? They're making like really kiddie Godzilla toys now. They're just big hunks of hollow plastic with a, missile firing action and stuff. And NECA was doing really nice, movie specific sculpted figures. And I was really hoping they would get to all the other monsters because right now I have like 10 Godzillas, but I want Gigan and Megalon and all that stuff. So that doesn't look like that's going to happen. And just as of the last week, the Sectors Kickstarter didn't fund.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, but like I don't know if I showed you those figures before, but they were the little 3 3/4 inch kind of reboots, and they're great quality figures that like Zika Toys is making. And they had Wave 2 planned, and they only had the license for like a limited time, so they were going to lose the license if it didn't work. So it's not like they could just do the Kickstarter again in a couple of months. So that probably kills that line altogether because they didn't fund. So that's kind of a bummer because it was a new line in 2020. It sucks to get excited about it and then have it be dead on arrival pretty much. So no Wave 2, and the line feels kind of incomplete now.
Right.
So that's, I think, covers my disappointments. So there's a lot of them.
Well, I mean, you collect a lot more lines, so obviously there's going to be a lot more disappointments. When I started 2020, it was just like original O-ring Joes for me, and now it's like a little bit of Siege, Earthrise, and Black Series, and Legends, and Classified, and still some and there's some 30-minute missions, which is like Gundam, Gunpla model kits, and what's the other thing? Acid Rain. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff.
Figures when I was over there, pretty cool. That's the kind of thing when you said you were going to maybe throw me some curveballs. I thought you might have had some Acid Rain figures or something on your list there because I'm not familiar with them at all. I don't really pay attention to what's coming out, but
I was tempted. They had a lot of good stuff this year. But I mean, COVID, I don't have the same resources I had to spend on toys, so I had to be super picky with what I did get. And I mean, they're on the short list for if I have a whole lot of money sometime. Yeah, these guys are coming. But yeah.
All right, so you were asking about what we're excited about. So
what are you looking forward to?
Well, here I just talked a whole bunch. What do you?
And now it's I gotta sort of preface with this. I'm looking forward to my pre-orders coming in. So they're probably a lot of 2020, and with what you just said with Mythic Legions, the horses and whatnot. Maybe they're even 2019 Mythic Legion stuff that I've pre-ordered, like the Trapjaw, the She-Ra, the Hordak, some skeletons because you need like a little skeleton army, and I can use those heads and whatever in other places for other properties or whatnot. I'm really looking forward to finally getting a bunch of Mythic Legion stuff. I got the Carados, and I just got an email that Purplor is back in stock, and so he's in my pile of loot. Really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to, we mentioned it before, but the Red series continuing. March is supposed to be the Zartan and the Cobra Trooper from Classified series. So hopefully, we'll see it in April. If that's March in the U.S., probably 1st of April. And then the summer, I think the summer is going to be big. Now, I'm only basing that all over like my experience in the last year, just watching what Hasbro did with launching a new line, the Classified series, and how that kind of interacted with the different marketing behind the scenes stuff. So I'm watching how they're positioning themselves with the ads and what they're doing right now, YouTube and whatnot. I think there's going to be a big Classified something in June, July. Sort of coincides with Joe Fest. I think Larry Hama's birthday's in June. And the Flint and Lady J are scheduled for June. So I think there's going to be a lot of Classified action.
I'm curious. Is there going to be, like, I know there probably won't be a physical thing, but every year Toy Fair is in February where we get kind of the first big toy news. Is there still going to be a virtual Toy Fair? Like, can we expect a bunch of big news in February, do you think?
I'm sure there will be a lot of announcements and whatnot coming in February. And I think that'll be what they announced in February will probably be available or becoming available the 1st of July. And then we're going to see some bigger things, I think. I don't know. Maybe they're vehicles. Maybe the line just gets a lot bigger. I don't know. I just have a feeling something's going to happen in the summer.
Yeah, and I'm fine if they make vehicles. I'm hoping they don't make vehicles that force me to buy the figures with them. A motorcycle, like, I don't want that Baroness motorcycle. I don't really care about it, but $60 for whatever for the set, I can live with a motorcycle. But if they paired her with a Jeep and it was $150, I don't really want the Jeep, and I don't have room for the Jeep. The Hiss tank, for example, I don't know. That would have to be. I can't even. It would have to be big.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I feel like they tried that with the TIE Fighter, and I think even maybe an X-wing with the Black Series, and
Yeah.
they didn't move very well. So I don't know if they'll take the risk of making $100 vehicles or not, but I could
The
definitely see
TIE
some
Fighter.
motorcycles and maybe some trouble bubbles and stuff like that.
That would be really cool. And you're right. The smaller stuff I think works better. The TIE Fighter, I mean, the thing was
Yeah,
so huge. Just that size alone, it's got so much weight that just sitting on a table and you walk by and the thing's moving a little bit. Just in any of the reviews and videos I saw, it doesn't look great as a display unit. So, yeah,
yeah.
you're right. Anything small, blocky, low center of gravity, whatnot, yeah, that's going to look good. Motorcycles, like the Ram.
It'd be cool if
Uh,
they did like maybe some sort of build a set. If you could do like Checkpoint Alpha or something.
oh,
With
wow.
one guy comes with a ladder, another guy comes with the searchlight or something, and you could build a Checkpoint Alpha or something. That'd be pretty cool.
Just take all my money.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just gonna check for as far as pre-orders go.
Yeah.
I've always got so many outstanding on Big Bad Toy Store. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna guess I probably have about 50 or so. And actually, just tomorrow, Super 7 is supposed to announce or put up for pre-order a new Conan the Barbarian figure.
Oh, yeah.
And like I bought their comic book based one, and that was one of my top 20 last year. He was really cool. But I grew up more on the Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan. I didn't really read the comic books when I was a kid. And they've done two Arnold Schwarzenegger ones so far, but they didn't really do it for me. But this one here is going to be the one with the black war paint and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the one I've been waiting for. So I don't know if it's just going to be the one Conan or if they're doing a full wave of figures. But that might be something I have to buy, like put a pre-order in for tomorrow. So, yeah, I currently have 53 pre-orders outstanding on Big Bad Toy Store. And some of those are like waves of figures. So it's
Right.
probably more like 60 figures. But like I've got some Robotech figures. I've got some of the Star Wars retro figures, which are like the Mandalorian and the Kenner style figures.
Right. Yeah.
I've got some of the Thundercats from Super 7. I've got some of the Ninja Turtle Ultimates from Super 7. I've got some Mythic Legions. I've got Star Wars Black Series. Like the Gamorrean Guard was a Target exclusive a couple years ago that I hated that I couldn't get, but now it's a regular release now. Like
Oh, yeah, he's on my list.
yeah, so Gamorrean Guard. I've got some reaction figures from Super 7. I'm really kind of into those guys lately. I've got some Transformers, like they've got the Seacons, and they're like exclusive, so that's a whole other like build a figure I need to get. Those Masters of the Universe Origins guys, now that they're no longer exclusive, they're on Big Bad Toy Store, and I have like Skeletor, He-Man, Ninjor, Stratos. Like I've got all of them on pre-order here, so a bunch of my pre-orders are from Masters of the Universe. What else I got? I've got my G.I. Joe classified, so like my Troopers, Flint, Lady J, Zartan. I've got some of the Boss Fight Studios doing what they're called hero hacks.
Yeah.
So I actually got my Zorros are in the mail right now. They were in stock, so they shipped them to me. So I should have my Zorros to show people by the end of the month, hopefully. But I still have like the Phantom on pre-order. I've got like 6 pages of pre-orders here. It's crazy.
Really looking forward to the deluxe Boba Fett with the extra pieces, the blaster getting chopped up. Have you seen that?
I don't know if I have seen the Boba. I might get the Mandalorian that comes with, because I didn't buy the Child when he came out individually,
Right.
and I didn't buy the Beskar Armor Mandalorian. But then now that it's a Target exclusive, I think, so hopefully it shows up at our Toys R Us. But yeah, it gives me an excuse to say, okay, the Child wasn't. I'm not like a Child fanatic like other people seem to be, but like to get him with the Beskar armor with the removable helmet, I'm excited about that. So less about Boba, but yeah, I'm interested in that Mandalorian. I'd want a Boba Fett based on the Mandalorian appearance, like with his kind of skirt and stuff. That'd be cool. But I think I'm a little burnt out on his original appearance. I've got like a dozen figures of that.
Right. In my whole Black Series initiation, let's call it, I mean, you can only watch the original trilogy so many times. So I'm like, oh, let's give Clone Wars a spin. So just like while I'm working in the studio setting up photos or whatnot, I've got Clone Wars playing in the background. And it's funny, I play like the little Star Wars strategy game on my iPhone, like I guess every day just to kill time whenever I need to or whatever, a couple minutes here and there. So I'm familiar with all of the characters, but I didn't realize they were from the Clone Wars, and now I'm kind of getting invested in these characters. So I might need an Ahsoka and Asia, probably saying it wrong, Asia Ventress.
Dooku's as well.
I was going to say, I just saw her. Yeah, she's in the spring, is it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I her and the Bad Batch. I've got those two guys on the order there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's never ending with that stuff. Because plus, I'm not like I haven't watched much of the Clone Wars, and I didn't watch any of Rebels, so I didn't care about any of those characters. I know people that watched it are really excited about those figures. Mm-hmm. I almost don't want to watch it because I don't want to get excited about those characters. But I read the comic books, and the comic books makes me excited about figures that maybe other people don't care about. Like I told you, I've got some of those astromech droids. So one of them is like, is it BT? He's basically a black version of R5D4, and I've got a black C-3PO, which is 000. These are characters from the comic book, but I really enjoy them in the comics. So yeah, depending on whether it's a novel or a video game or a cartoon, yeah, you never know what figures you're gonna want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. There's a lot of shit to buy, man. So yeah, as far as other things, so that I was excited about this year, so more Joes, because that there's the door's wide open with that line. Because there's hundreds of characters. So yeah, I'm curious to see what we're gonna get. Like with Masters of the Universe, I'm excited about this as a new line too, but like it's already. Like, they've got, 5 waves announced. They're already done most of the main characters, even though it's only been around since, August. You rush out 3 or 4 waves. The line only lasted really, a couple of years, in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, that's going strong now, but I think it will fizzle out relatively quickly. But, yeah, G.I. Joe, it seems like, as long as it's successful, it could go for years and years and years. One thing I'm looking forward to this year is with Transformers switching to Kingdom, I'm hoping I can actually buy less of them.
Yeah.
I need some of my toy lines to kind of taper off from time to time. So it was, even though I hate when G.I. Joe goes away, it was kind of nice that it did give me a year or two off. The gap between Masters of the Universe Classics and Origins, there was a bit of a lull there. But Transformers has been going strong since, Titans Return, Powers of the Prime, Combiner Wars, Siege. It's just, relentless.
Yeah.
But I wasn't into Beast Wars. So now I'm seeing, Megatron as a T-Rex and Optimus Primal, and I don't care. I'm like, I don't need to buy these guys.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Have you seen any of them at retail?
Yeah, I bought Cyclonus.
Yeah.
And I actually did buy I forget his name. He turns into dinosaur bones.
Yeah.
But I kind of thought, man, I should just put my blinders up and say I don't like Beast Wars because I love the Dinobots and the Predacons and stuff from G1.
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't care about Optimus Primal and stuff, but a guy that turns into a dinosaur skeleton is kind of cool. So I did buy him. I'll buy the odd one. I definitely want the Inferno and the Huffer that are G1. But yeah, I'm hoping they do more Cheetors and Black Arachnias that I won't care about.
Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to. Another line they showed at Toy Fair last February, which we haven't got much update on, was I think it was NECA is doing Defenders of the Earth. So they're also doing Phantom and Mandrake and Flash Gordon and all this stuff. I don't care about a lot of that line, but I'm a big fan of the Phantom. And so even though I'm getting a little 3 3/4 inch one from Boss Fight Studios, I'm kind of moved off of that scale in a lot of ways.
Right.
So the NECA ones are doing like a really nice 6-inch Phantom that I could display with my Marvel Legends, say, and like that's something I'm more excited about. So hopefully we get more updates on that soon.
Yeah, a 6-inch would look great in your collection.
Yeah. And yeah, they look like the prototypes they showed last year look great. Like, I loved the Boss Fight Studio stuff when they started their Vitruvian Hacks line. I bought all the Spartans and the Gorgons and stuff. I was really into that.
Yeah.
But the bodies sometimes are a little gangly. They have a bit of a gap in their torsos sometimes. And, I just kind of lost interest in them when they switched over from the mythology to the fantasy and elves and orcs and stuff, because I'm not huge into that stuff anyway, but Mythic Legions is kind of occupying that space for me right now.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad to have a reason to buy Vitruvian Hacks figures again. But yeah, it's as far as the Phantom goes, I think he looks better in the bigger scale. It doesn't work as well on them. But I don't know. I'm going to get those Zorro figures soon. And it'll be the first new boss fight figures I've gotten in a couple of years now. So maybe that will rekindle my passion for those things. But yeah, I was kind of hoping we were getting a 6-inch Zorro too. That'd be kind of nice. But
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. But I think that's it. If there was one thing you could hope for that's maybe not announced or anything, like, is there any toy lines that you'd like to see them launch or anything that you'd like to see visited?
I can't think of anything. I mean, honestly, I think we live in a great time to be collecting toys. There's so many things refreshing, and I mean, maybe it's nostalgia and whatever, but yeah, I mean, we got Ghostbusters, we got Transformers and G.I. Joe and Phantom, and I mean, a lot of good stuff. And some of it's made specifically for kids, but there's a lot of stuff they're making for adult collectors, and they recognize us as a buying community, and there's nothing that I really hope for. Now, that could just be me being late to the party too. So there's a lot of Black Series I got to pick up, and Mythic Legions. I wish I was there from the start. I mean, getting
those have gotten.
Yeah, like the He-Man and the Skeletor versions, they're insane. I think it's like I'm probably 500 each if I wanted to find one on eBay right now. Yeah.
And yeah, even like just randomly, because I'm in a bunch of Facebook groups for all the various toys I collect. And every now and again, I'll see somebody post in Mythic Legions, like, I'm looking for, I don't even know their names to some of them, but like I have the yellow demon-y kind of guy, Azir or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. And I saw somebody, does anybody have one of this guy that's less than $300 or something? And I'm like, really? That random guy is selling for $300? I'm like, ooh. Yeah, it's crazy. So there's a couple guys that I passed on initially that I wish I had got. Like, I focused, as I said, I'm not big into orcs and elves and stuff. So in the initial wave, I focused on the skeletons. I've got a bunch of skeleton guys. But there's a couple that I kind of had to weigh because they're expensive. They're, it works out to like, I don't know, $60 a figure. Yeah. And so I was like, you can't get too many of these. I probably bought like 6 or 7 in the first round, and that shit adds up. So there was like a red skeleton. There was 2 what they call the kind of the cheaper army builder skeletons. There was one that he was white with silver armor, but then there was a gold boned skeleton too, and I didn't get him. And so now I didn't get the red skeleton or the gold skeleton, and now I'm like, man, I wish I'd get those guys then, because now they're like really hard to find or expensive, and it's just. But yeah, with their most recent pre-order, I kind of went all in on the vampire crowd, and I don't have any of them currently, but I've got that Hordak guy on pre-order. Yeah, and he's a vampire guy, but you don't necessarily have to display him that way because he's got the 2 heads. But I plan to display him with the white vampire head. I find that's more evocative of Hordak anyway.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So he'll kind of be my, my vampire king on my shelf. And so then when they release this whole other wave of, like, the vampire horse and the vampire, all this stuff. So, yeah, I bought, I don't know how many figures it was, 6 figures. So God knows when I'll see those things, at least a year from now, I would say. But, so I'm looking forward to them. Oh, sorry, you going to say something?
There is one thing that just popped in my mind that I'm super looking forward to. Not expensive. It's not a figure. It's an accessory. Found it on eBay. a two-piece wired hood and cape. And the cape is tattered, so like you can pose it with the wire and make it look like it's flowing or up in the air or whatever. Scales to 6 and 7 inch. They on eBay, I guess the guy, forget the guy's name or whatever, but he has a bunch of different styles. So Marvel Legends, different colors and whatnot, and whatnot. Anyway, so got it from him. It's brown. The picture that I saw, it was posed with the skeleton, and seeing the skeleton in that picture, I immediately had to go to Big Bad Toy Store, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm all in on skeletons. Let's get that. And then I went and bought the cape. So the cape is en route. It's in the mail. Should be here. I'm going to use it on 3PO first. Nice. 3PO with the Vader's lightsaber. He's going to be a Sith Lord for some reason, because I just think that's going to look really badass.
Nice. I'll look forward to that.
Super looking forward to that. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. You were saying?
No, that's okay. Although, was there something else I was going to say about Mythic Legions just now? I don't know. But yeah, just speaking of skeletons, so it's fresh in my mind because I just watched, like I said, the Dan Larson's video. But he had a couple. I can't remember what they are. He's got skeletons that they almost look like they're from like the 7 Voyages of Sinbad type of skeletons. Yeah. They're 6-inch scale. I can't remember what the line is called, but they were on his top 10. But yeah, if you're just like a skeleton fan, that might be something you want to check out.
I've seen him talk about them. I know which ones you're talking about. I can't remember the name of them either, but
yeah, they look nice. But yeah, I like the Mythic Legions ones with the armor and all that.
Yeah, and just the wash on the bones, the way they look, and before I was kind of glad at the time that they were all pre-order, so I didn't just spend a whole bunch of money and they show up and like, oh, I don't really like these. Yeah. Cowardos was in stock, so it's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna just bite the bullet on shipping, get it right away, see if I like it. Loved it. And then it's like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to cancel this pre-order. I need all those skeletons and other He-Man type figures.
Yeah, like I really like the 9-inch scale figures because they do the 12-inch trolls. I have one of them. I like the Cyclops guy. Yeah. But yeah, they're like $100 a pop if you get it directly from them. On Big Bad, it's like $200 a pop, I think. But yeah, the troll size, I think they're in the like $80 range, maybe. 75. Yeah. But yeah, I've got 4 of them now. I've got the 2 larger ogres, and then I can't remember what they're all called. Then I've got like a giant, and then I've got this blue Cyclops guy.
Yeah.
And now I think one of the vampires I pre-ordered is also a giant scale. And yeah, those guys are really cool. Like I really dig that sculpt. I wish there was a little bit more variety because they tend to all have the same belt and the same harness. So yeah, the part reuse is pretty prevalent, but
it is, yeah.
But yeah, they look cool.
I'm surprised how much they get away with just with changing colors.
Yeah, me too. But like the fact that they can launch a Kickstarter with like 24 characters or something, they look great. You don't have to buy them all if you don't want to. But like,
yeah,
I have quite a few characters that have the same boots and the same gauntlets and all that stuff. But it doesn't bother me that much. Like I understand they're a smaller company and they do what they can to make all the figures unique and cool, and
yeah,
like they have like real fur and real metal chains, and like they're pretty great. So.
And I mean, it's a universe. They're all in the same universe. They're all in similar armies. There's got to be similar manufacturing types. So
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess something in my mind says, yeah, it's proper. They're all kind of looking the same. Like Obi-Wan's wearing the precursor to the Stormtrooper uniform in Clone Wars, and it kind of ties that all together. I love that little world-building stuff that comes from companies just trying to cut corners.
That's the one Obi-Wan I have in my 6-inch collection. Like I didn't buy the old man Obi-Wan because again, he's an old man in a cloak.
Yeah.
So he was ruled out. And then I saw like the ghost version of that, and I didn't buy that one. And then I think they made him the young Obi-Wan in his regular tunic, and I didn't buy that. But once he was in the Stormtrooper costume, I'm like, well, man, this guy's a Stormtrooper from the neck down.
Yeah.
So I caved, and I bought that one. And it's pretty cool. It's a good figure.
Yeah. And if you do get into Clone Wars, he's got some amazing fight scenes, wearing that. Yeah. Yeah, he is the only Obi-Wan that is on my list. I don't want the old man one. I mean, he does nothing. He stands there and gets killed in the first movie. So
Yeah.
like, I don't need to reshoot that. I can do that with anyone in the hooded wired cape. Like,
There you
just
go.
standing there with the blue white. Yeah. So yeah, but the young one, that's a
Yeah.
really cool figure.
I find his cheeks are a little rosy,
Are they?
kind of like mine right now. But yeah, it's a little weird. But yeah, that's my only gripe about that figure. But yeah, we're closing in an hour and a half. So the one other thing I was going to say is for things that I hope for,
Yes.
these are complete long shots or whatever. But seeing how like Mad Balls are back now and like Barnyard Commandos, like there's some really obscure toy lines that are returning. I'd love to see Battle Beasts come back. They were like one of my favorites from when I was a kid. And if they came back with like a nice 6-inch or even like kind of like a 5-inch, like I think they would work good at this scale, but like a really detailed, posable, because the original Battle Beast only moved at their
Just
arms.
the arms, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but like I have the whole collection of Battle Beasts up on my wall over here. But yeah, I'd love to get some of those characters again in just like big posable versions and stuff. So that would kind of be the thing I'd be most hoping for. And then
That would be very cool.
another kind of long shot is I don't know if you saw me post, but I got that from the band Gorillaz. I got 2D.
Yeah.
Like I'm a huge fan of Tank Girl, and I think there's been some legal issues with the figures ever since the movie came out. So there's never been a Tank Girl figure, but I've been a fan for 25, 30 years almost. And so now that this company, Super Plastic, is making the Gorilla figures, even though I would prefer like a nice 6-inch action figure, I'm hoping maybe Super Plastic can work with Jamie Hewlett to create like a vinyl Tank Girl figure. If they could give me like a 12-inch vinyl Tank Girl, that would be awesome. That would be one of the crown jewels of my collection. But I don't know, just a total hoping against hope. There's no rumor or anything about it out there, but
That would look amazing. Yeah.
yeah. So those are the things I'm hoping for. But otherwise, yeah, I think that I've covered a lot of stuff.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you want to include in here before we part?
Real quick, I'm dying to know, what did you think about the G.I. Joe video game?
Yeah, you mentioned that. You messaged me yesterday or something and said, I'm going to talk about the game. And I intended to play it more before, but I literally only spent about a half hour with it.
Even just first impressions, yeah.
First impressions, I like it. Like,
Yeah.
I remember when it came out, and I wanted to buy it that day, but it was really hard to find around here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, maybe you could buy it on the PlayStation Store. That's probably what most people do nowadays.
Right.
I'm old school. I feel like I need to buy the physical thing. It didn't even really occur to me to look online. But then I thought, well, you know what? I buy all the toys I want pretty much when they come out. Christmas is coming up. Vanessa's going to need to buy me something for Christmas, so I told her I wanted that Tony Hawk game and I wanted the G.I. Joe game. So she got me Tony Hawk for Christmas and she got me G.I. Joe for my birthday. And my birthday was just like 2 days ago. So I only had a chance to play it for like a half hour. I threw it in. I like the cell shading look to it.
Yeah.
It is really cool that it's based on the classified figures. So like Cobra Commander looks just like the Cobra Commander figure. Duke looks just like the Duke figure. You know, I'm glad they didn't necessarily go totally old school. So it feels a little more modern, and it feels like it's supporting this line, which makes me feel better about just moving it along. The gameplay, I don't like. It starts. You start off, and you're in the flag of the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
And one thing that's really cool is the only other G.I. Joe game I've played since way back in the arcade days, but like in the modern world, I had the G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra game on my PS3, and I quite enjoyed that one too. Like, you just run, shoot. It was very kind of Contra-like, very arcade, very simple. You couldn't really die. As soon as you died, you just came back to life wherever you were standing.
Right.
Probably based on the difficulty level I had it set on. But, I could play with my nephews, and we could just run and blast, and it was fun. You could beat a level. We didn't get stuck at a boss or anything like that. And there'd be all kinds of characters that weren't in the movie, but they would look like they would be from the movie universe. So you'd be like going through, and then a little screen would pop up with like mainframe, and he'd be like, "G.I. Joes, you got to go this way," or whatever. And we're like, so this game does the same thing, except they're in their classic look. So you got dial tone and mainframe popping up, kind of just telling you where to go and stuff. So it's really cool seeing these characters. It makes you think, oh, we're probably going to get them,
right.
in a future wave soon. So yeah, the game starts. You're Duke, and they say like, "Hey, we put some droids in the flag. We want you to test them, so fight them or whatever." So that's kind of the practice. So it freezes and says, "Hit triangle to roll," and all that stuff. So that was kind of the practice bit. And then I was kind of surprised that once the game actually starts, you either have to play as Storm Shadow or Cobra Commander right off the bat.
Wow.
I'm switching to the bad guy. And yeah, you're on the deck of the flag, and you're fighting these new G.I. Joe robots that they just introduced, in the setup. That way you can kill things on the, so you're killing all these robots. And I did run into, I don't know if I'd call him a boss or a midway boss, but Duke did come out and start fighting us at one point. And I'm pretty sure you can play it collaboratively. So if you came over sometime, like, because when I pick Storm Shadow, Cobra Commander's running around beside me the whole time. And if I turn to him, he'll say, like, "Where are we going?" And he's shooting at guys, too. So I think we can play it split screen that way. And then I'm sure at some point it's going to switch to being Joe's and all that sort of stuff. I don't know how deep the game goes. I almost hope it doesn't go too deep, because I often never make it to the ends of these things. I don't think I ever finished the Rise of Cobra game. I have a Transformers, War for Cybertron game. I don't think I made it past the first stage, and I'm sure there's probably all kinds of cool stuff I never got to see. So, yeah, maybe if you come over and you want to play this, it would kind of force me to go, but I'm just not a big gamer. I just don't have the patience to sit there, and if I die, to have to do the same thing over and over again, I'm just like, I get bored of it. But, yeah, it looks cool. I like that it's kind of a fresh aesthetic. It's not a G.I. Joe that we've really seen before, but it's familiar enough. Like the flag, there's Sky Strikers all on the all along the deck of the aircraft carrier. And seeing those familiar faces from mainframe and dial tone stuff. I think it's got a lot of potential. Nice. So yes, once we get off into maybe some jungle terrain and all that sort of stuff, I'm excited to see where it goes. Because I haven't watched much in the way of trailers or anything for it, so I have no idea what the storyline spins out to be, but yeah, we'll play it sometime.
Very cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at the very least, I will. I'm going to stop recording this so we can be on. Yeah, it's 1:32, but maybe I'll be able to slice a minute or two off of it. We'll wrap it up. So thanks everybody for watching. Hit like, subscribe. Send comments. Follow Matt/Mate Mylar on Instagram, and follow me too.
Definitely follow Mike.
Yeah.
Follow Mike before you follow me, and swipe all the way to the end. Read the joke. It's worth it. Trust me.
Thank you. All right. So, I'll stop recording. I don't know if I'm going to lose you, because we can keep talking if you want to for a minute. But, All right. So, anyway, thanks for watching, everybody.